Hey, Miss Spring. Great to have you in today. So we're meeting to discuss your concerns that you mentioned about Ellie's communication. Let's discuss more about your child for about 15 minutes so I can get a better picture of her overall communication. So first, will you please tell me about your concerns of Ellie's speech and language?
Well, she has a lot of trouble articulating what she wants to say. It's really hard to understand what she's saying. And I mean, she seems to kind of have like a sentence structure, but you really can't understand what she's saying.
So she's pretty unintelligible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you believe that your child has a family history or developmental cause for underlying the issue?
I don't believe so. None of us,
No.
as far as I know, have had any developmental issues with language or anything like that.
Okay, good to know. Can you briefly discuss your child's medical history? Any medical things that happen that could cause this?
Well, pregnancy was fine, and she's really healthy. Never really had any ear infections or any sore throats or anything like that. I mean, kids get sick, but other than that, she's healthy.
Okay. So with Ellie, what are some of the things she's best at when it comes to communication that's easy for her?
Well, she understands everything that you tell her. If you ask her to point a certain place, she'll point at the animal or the dog or whatever it is. She seems to have a sentence structure and to have like intonation patterns.
Okay.
But you just can't understand what she says. It's really hard to understand what she says.
Okay. How frequently would you say that you do understand her on a given day?
Well, since I'm around her more often, I've learned certain like speech patterns that she has. It's not necessarily understandable to other people, but I can understand that like maybe 6 out of 10 times.
Okay. 6 out of 10. Do you say you have a hard time communicating with her? So, do you use other forms of communication at home, like sign language or maybe pictures, when she needs something or wants something?
Well, she's so unintelligible that it's gotten to the point where we're thinking of taking her to learn sign language or giving her a class or something like that so we can all communicate better, since it's not her language that's an issue but more just the articulation.
Okay. So you've thought about other methods. What about going to other specialists? Have you seen other speech therapists in the past or taken her anywhere else?
Well, we took her to the pediatrician, and they referred us here once he didn't see anything that was wrong with her mouth or anything like that. As for problems with being able to produce speech sounds, I guess, but other than that, no.
And who was it that noticed your child struggling with the speech and language, and about when was that?
It was about when she was 2, and I noticed because she just didn't speak like my other friends' kids.
I see. Does she understand you when you speak? You think she's understanding what you say to her?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for the most part, if I ask her, "Oh, can you go get me the banana on the counter?" she'll get me the banana.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And how about others? When others talk to her, maybe neighbors or other teachers?
Yes, she understands them, but it's them understanding her that's the issue.
I see. That's why you're here. Okay. Has your child's teacher or other caregivers noticed her struggle?
Yes. When she goes to preschool, the teachers notice that the teacher can't understand what she's saying.
Okay. And what feedback? So they just tell you they don't really understand?
They don't really understand her.
Okay.
I mean, for the most part, they know what she wants, kind of, because she's on a routine. But other than that, they really don't understand her.
And do you think the child understands that Ellie? Do you think she knows that she has a difficulty? For example, does she frequently get frustrated when she's trying to talk, or any other feedback from Ellie?
When she's talking, she doesn't get frustrated, but she gets more frustrated when we can't understand what she's saying.
Okay. So she does know that there's a little issue with her communication.
Yeah.
Have you tried anything to improve her speech?
Well, I've tried on several occasions to like go over the letters of the alphabet and like teach her A is the A sound, the ah, and so on and so forth with all the letters. And I see that it helps her sometimes if I show her or tell her how to do it, then she can kind of imitate a little bit better. But
Okay, I'll note that. How about social interactions with other children? Do you think there's any issues there with her communication?
they don't understand her, so she has no problem going up and playing with other kids, but they don't understand her. That's the problem.
Okay. How about if speech therapy really is the next step for Ellie? What realistic communicative goals would you want to set for her if she does follow through with therapy?
I would like for her to make at least the speech sounds that are appropriate for her age on a constant basis, whether it be saying like cat or dog or whatever it is, but just to have her know that she's doing better and able to understand and produce the speech sounds.
Okay. So yeah, one sound at a time, maybe a couple here and there until she gets more intelligible. I hear what you say. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Miss Spring, for taking the time to come in and talk about Ellie's communication with me. I think that the next steps would be best to bring her in again for an assessment. We can figure out which sound she has more difficulty with and pick some goals and objectives from there if you'd like to work with us. I do think that we'll be able to see some great improvements with her, especially if you help out with some of therapy at home. And it seems as if you're willing to do that. So
yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Thanks for coming in again, and I can't wait to meet with you again. Thanks.